Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about Batman Arkham Knight. I want to talk about since it's the 5-year anniversary of the game, I wanted to discuss just what I thought about the game and just share a little bit. I know this game got like massive praise when it came out. It got like 10s, 9s, and I think some 8s. But anyways, I wanted to talk about, just reminisce a little bit, and I think the first thing I want to start with is how the game looks. It's very different from the other two that came before it. It kind of takes a more photorealistic look than the other games did, and I like it and I don't. I liked the more cartoony aspect of City and Asylum to an extent, but definitely more so City. The game has a almost uncanny look to it now, but that might just be because it came out in 2015. But I will say the game still looks phenomenal compared to some games releasing today, 5 years later. It's and they redesigned a lot of those characters, and some of them I like, some of them I don't. Like Scarecrow, I like the syringes on the fingers, but I think that was in Asylum. But I don't like the voice compared to the original, and I don't know, something about it. It's a little off, but moving on. Batman, I like the new suit, but I also like the old one. I find when I play the game, I mostly use the classic Arkham Asylum City one, and occasionally the Ben Affleck one, but it fits aesthetically with that game, and I think they're very consistent in this game only when it comes to aesthetic consistency, because the other two games look completely different. And Jim Gordon, it's funny watching him go from super buff in Asylum to tired, worn down, kind of out of shape old man. And I will say, like, some of them look better. Like Joker, I think looks infinitely better, especially as you go through the beginning of the game towards the end of the game, when you see that Titan change, when he's slowly taking over Batman's mind. You notice things like the skin issues become less and less, and I think that's pretty cool. But then in the city looks really good, but I would have loved a more Gotham, like real Gotham type of city, kind of like how you see in the distance in Asylum. You see that with all those tall skyscrapers. You don't really get much of that. You get a little bit of an island, and really, like, the buildings you see in Asylum are huge, and you get like a handful in Night, I guess. It's whatever. But if you move on, let's move on to story. So the story for the game was, in my opinion, falsely advertised. I think, like, if you look back at the E3 interviews from when this game was announced, they talk about how the criminals have finally teamed up to take Batman down. They're all working together to take Batman down. But when you play the game, they're all side missions, and the two main characters, like two main antagonists, are kind of at odds with each other, and it's really weird when you go into the game expecting everybody to be teaming up, and it feels like everyone kind of looked at Arkham Knight and Scarecrow and kind of laughed at their plan and just was like, I'm gonna do my own thing over here. And because none of those missions connect if you really think about it. Like Two-Face, you do the bank heist. It's just a glorified like stealth challenge mission. Harley Quinn is kind of just there. It would have been cool to see more with her after the DLC they had in City, but whatever. Poison Ivy becomes more of an ally. Penguin's off doing other things with a really cool side mission with Nightwing, but like that doesn't connect. They just kind of talk about it at the end and how Batman's done and Dick's gonna have to step up a little bit. And then there's the side, like Man-Bat doesn't connect at all. Firefly, that doesn't connect at all. That connects to the side mission with the firefighters. So like, don't advertise a game where you say one thing and it's not that. Because then you set these false expectations and you don't actually... And then you have to reevaluate, I guess, when it comes time to actually play, because it's not what they advertised. I see people talking about Last of Us 2 that way, too. I kind of don't see it that way. They changed some character models and trailers, and then... What are you going to complain? Are you going to complain every time Marvel does it, too? Yeah, anyways. This is about Batman. This isn't about Last of Us. That's coming later. But... let's move on to the thing I don't like a lot. And that's the tank. The Batmobile, the Bat Tank, whatever you want to call it. I know they designed the city around the tank, but it's like the tank is the worst part of the game, and you can easily get around the city just as fast while gliding. So that kind of takes the driving aspect and throws it out the window. Makes it useless, makes it pointless, unless you just want to drive. The shooting, like, you're definitely killing those guys. I don't see any way around it, and I've seen tons of videos on that. I'm not going to go into that. But the thing I hate the most about the Batmobile is the stealth tank sections. And a lot of people talk about how they take things you could have just done as Batman and made you do it in the tank. And I agree with that. I didn't agree with it when it came out. I was kind of just in love with the game. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, it's kind of pointless. And I'm really, like, it sounds like I'm really shitting on the game. I actually really like it. I think it's one of the best games with the story that is given. I think it is the best game story they've had. It is the easiest to make a video game. Sure, it's just reskinned Red Hood in the Arkham universe, and that's okay. If we had seen more of... I think if they had teased Jason Todd in other games, it would have been cooler, and I'm one of those people that went back in Asylum and like looked around to see if Jason was there, see where he might have been. And I did narrow it down to a few spots, but that's all speculation, that nothing is proven. And then it kind of feels like... It doesn't feel like the other two games. The other two games, there's clear setup in Asylum to City, especially with the secret room. There's nothing like that in Night, and you can tell like they didn't really... Maybe they planned a third game, but they didn't know what it was going to be. And I bet they assumed they were going to have Paul Dini, who wrote the first two games, and they didn't. And you can see they kind of were like, what do we do with the Joker blood thing? Even though he took the cure, like, he kind of didn't need that. And it was fine. I like the stuff with Batman and Joker in this game. I love. I think those two are the core of this series. I think that their relationship is so important to this game. And it is handled probably the best it could have been handled. In my opinion, one of the best ways it's been handled ever. But, you know, that's me, and I feel like people are going to hate me for that. But then if you, and there's certain choices Batman makes where I'm like, that's not Batman. He's kind of an idiot, but a lot of people chalk that up to the fear toxin having a different effect than it did in other games, and I guess I can see that. If you and it's hard to make that section in Asylum last an entire game, so you had to change its effects. It couldn't be the boss battle you had the entire game. It would have sucked, and it would have been super quick. But yeah, those are just like my quick ramblings on Arkham Knight on its 5-year anniversary. I'm planning a Last of Us review that's coming soon. I've beaten the game. I'm gonna get into that more at some point. I'm still digesting it, and I don't really want to get into how I feel about it yet. But anyways, in the comments, tell me what you thought about Arkham Knight on its 5-year anniversary, and what is your favorite Batman Arkham game, and are you excited for the potential reveal of a new one coming in August? Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.